What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of the Legend of Nintendo podcast. I'm your host, the video game Votary, and we got my co-host in the building, my boy Black Ranger. Black Ranger, how you doing today, brother?
Man, I can't complain. It's Monday. Is it Monday? Yeah, it's Monday. Football on. I can't complain, man. I'm just here, ready to keep it going.
That's good. That's good. And all you Nintendo fans out there, we had a very big important release last Friday. We
Sure
had the
enough.
release of none other than Super Mario Brothers Wonder, my pick currently for Game of the Year. And granted, I got Tears of the Kingdoms Collector's Edition that I have not opened yet, so we're gonna exclude that for now. But I definitely opened this, and I want to talk about a couple things. Firstly, I want to talk about what do you guys think about midnight launches. Now, this particular launch was like my first one in at least 5 years. I think the last one was like some kind of Call of Duty game, and I wasn't even like involved with that one. I just kind of went and picked my game up because everybody was getting online that night. But not like something where you kind of hung out a little bit and like waited until 12 to get the game. Like I kind of just walked in to get it. But this one, I was got in the line and everything. Check out my last video if you haven't watched that yet. We document and kind of vlog in there and catch it live, and which was cool was it was a bigger turnout than kind of what I expected. I wasn't expecting a lot of people to be out, and like a lot. I guess I thought maybe it was something like a thing of the past, but it was a lot of people there. Some people were there for Spider Man, so we're not gonna we're not gonna hate on them. Some people there for Spider Man. There's definitely some people in the building for Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I haven't picked up Spider Man yet. But Black Ranger, I want to get your opinion on midnight launches. Do you think they're important? And when's the last one you went to, if you went to any?
I do think they're important for the community as a whole, the gaming community. I mean, I used to look out for midnight launches a lot when it came to shoes, because as much as I'm a gamer, I'm a shoe head as well.
Yes.
Video game votary knows about that too. But I
Absolutely.
definitely think they're important for the community. It shows a lot of the hype. It gets the companies a little more excited, as well as it fuels uh, the businesses, especially mainly GameStop have those midnight releases, and most people now you don't see them too often. I haven't been to a game midnight release ever. Like I said, I used to do the shoes back in the day, but I used to have to hook up for that, so I didn't even really need to be there. It was just to see the people, but it's nice to get out and chat with the community, see who else has some hype around it, and see it gives, like I said, the companies they get a chance to see what they doing, not just the day of the release, but at midnight to see like how the crowd's forming, what it's looking like, and it's just a overall fun experience. Like you said, if you haven't checked out his latest video, definitely fun to see what was going on in there, especially when you get some people who like to dress up and do things like that. But you got to check
Yeah.
out the video to see that.
Yeah, definitely check out the videos. Very interesting scene that took place at the midnight release. And if you guys are for all the listeners that listen on the podcast platforms, whatever your favorite podcast platform is, we are talking about midnight releases, and we're talking specifically about the midnight release at GameStop. And if you guys aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you log on and subscribe. YouTube.com/video game votary, and subscribe to the channel. Check out that episode. I thought it was very good. I had a good time. Um, but Black Ranger definitely made some good points. It's a way to connect the community, to meet different people in the community, have discussion, have fun. 9 times out of 10, GameStop normally has like small refreshments. They probably got a console set up. I know at my local GameStop they had N64 set up, which is Black Ranger's thing currently, and like they had Super Smash Brothers set up. So that's an automatic, classic couch co-op feel, especially for Nintendo. So that was just great to see, and it was, to me, it was just great to see the turnout as well. Not even the fact that it it wasn't just a Nintendo game release. It was two big blockbuster
Yeah.
releases on the same day. I was just happy to see the community come out and just support gaming and support GameStop because they're kind of one of the last ones that are around. And with everything kind of trending towards going digital, it brings up a perfect point. So, with that being said, now with things trending going towards digital, there won't be any more midnight releases. So, how important is that? And how much of a factor does that play in collecting and things like that? Depending on which store you go to, there's all types of levels of midnight releases. Some midnight releases are lit. It's a full blown party. Might be pizza in there. Whatever. I've seen all of that. And it's a good time. But I'm curious to know. For y'all listening, if you hear this, hit me up on any social media, kind of let me know what you're thinking. But if you tuning in live, comment down below. Like, do you feel that midnight releases is something that the gaming community needs? And also, how would you feel if that was to go away? And Black Ranger, I want to get your opinion about that. With things headed towards digital only, how would you feel? What is the importance of midnight releases, and do you think it's going to have an effect on the community and also like the first night buys?
Yeah, so uh kind of ties into one of my latest videos. I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago, where I talked about how much modern gaming sucks. And it's not a slight to the games. The games are great. It's more of a slight to the companies and the systems, meaning that every time I turn on my system, I got to get some type of update, use some more of my memory, delete game files or any save data I have just to download some more, unless I get an external drive, which makes me really fearful for all digital gaming. I mean, it's nice to be able to just pop in, and if a game come out at midnight, I can go on and boom download, but I'm not going to be able to play for however long it takes the game to download. I don't care how fast your internet speed is. It's going to take you a
Yes,
little time to download the game
definitely.
and the updates for the system and whatever patches they putting out, whether it's first day patches or whatever. So I I'm definitely fearful for that. As you can see, it's all physical media behind me. I mean, even when it comes to anything else, I use streaming services, but I got a ton of VHSs, a ton of DVDs, and I use all of them because it's something different about whether it's popping in a cartridge or loading the disc up and listening to a spin and the game loading up just to be able
Yes,
to actually touch the game and feel it pulse. It's way different, and I think midnight releases also shows the companies like, hey, these people are still lining up to get these things physically.
absolutely.
And I do also like, I know there are games coming out now where you get uh a physical case,
Hmm.
but you got a digital download code. Just
Yeah,
give me the game. I know they probably looking at, yeah, it's kind of helping with production and cutting costs, but I don't need you to cut your costs. Just make the disc real quick. We know it don't really take that much to make the disc. So
right,
just, I mean, the cartridge of the disc. So I'm fearful that it's gonna go away soon. That's why any system I get, I still don't have a PS5, but when I do, I'm getting the disc version. I don't want the digital version. I don't want to have to worry about just downloading everything. I want to be able to pick up the game, put it in the system, and let it load up.
right. And you definitely made some good points. And interesting thing and topic that's been tossed around is even like on some of the other disc-based platforms. Of course, we know with the Switch, for the most part, the games are already on the cartridge. For the majority of the game is on the cartridge, and Nintendo normally aims to get as much on the cartridge as possible to give you the full game. But I'm trying to remember what game that was. It may have been on the PlayStation. I think it was Spider-Man. They were talking about how they put the entire game on the disc. And it's funny that you're hearing this now, even though it's kind of trending in the direction of all digital, but it's also seeing like some of the manufacturers are trying to give the fans the full game on the disc, which means they're listening to the audience. My personal opinion, anytime I hear it, and I'm not even, I can be biased, but at the same time, I'm just saying, speaking on when I go into game stops and stuff like that, and especially around like the holiday season, they're buying things for the children. And one thing that they always push, they always ask, do you want the digital disc version? And parents always say the disc, and that's kind of just, one of those things. You want the full game, and that's kind of a part of it. But with things being on the internet, there is a fear of some things being lost because it's just out there on the internet. We all know things happen, things get hacked, stores shut down, and then with it being patches and stuff like that, I feel like you never have the full version of the game. So there's definitely a fear there. And then, for the sake of preservation, we don't have anything other than, just kind of having that digital storage somewhere on our computer, which can be gone versus, you got a game right there, you pop it in, it's there. Now that even with that, even if there is a patch, there's still something that you can put in and play the game and just connect to the internet. I'm all for
Yeah.
that to some degree, but it would have to be where obviously they would have to keep all of these things possible, which costs money. And I don't know. I don't know if they are necessarily saving money and cutting costs with that. I mean, I don't know because I'm not on that side of things, but I mean, at this point, this are like kind of like almost null and void. Like people aren't buying this as much, and we know they're dirt cheap. Like it can't be that much. And if that's the case, then give us cartridge or allow us to download the entire game to like a flash drive, like something physical that we can have all the games, all the entire game in its entirety. In somewhere, some database where we can, get whatever patches to kind of complete the game or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I kind of feel like what I said once before on another platform that I would rather, a manufacturer charge me more money up front for me to get the complete game in its entirety. Like, most games on the newer platforms are $70. Charge me $100, give me all the DLC. I want everything up front. I don't want to wait on it. Just I'll pay extra and just to have the full game. That's just my personal opinion. But we'll see where things are going. There's a lot of talks about Best Buy and Walmart following suit about phasing out physical media. But I still feel like, you know, there's definitely people that prefer physical media. So I don't know if that's like the majority. I'm just going off of things that I witnessed, but we'll see. And if that's the case, for the collectors out there at this point, especially when it's like kind of announced and become official, I would collect any and all physical media, DVDs too, because
Yeah.
those prices are going to shoot through the roof once that finally happens. Now, I'm also going to say this. I'm going to predict this. Regardless of what everybody else is doing, Sony and Microsoft, I think Nintendo's still going to be cartridge based or disc based for quite some time. I don't think they're getting away from that. Nintendo doesn't go with the trends. Nintendo got their own lane and they do them. So I really don't see them leaving the cartridge lane. And I'm predicting that this next console is going to be backwards compatible physically with that cartridge. So I'm predicting another cartridge console. And also, obviously 4K, which would be incredible for some of these games. Like Super Mario already just visually is a impressive game. So I want to go into that, segue into that, and my thoughts on having the game after 3 days now. Just graphically, the game is just beautifully laid out. They added so much to the game to kind of, you kind of know what you're getting when you get in it with a Super Mario game, but at the same time, they did so much to make it different. So there was some aspects that I noticed of Kirby where you can kind of go in a 3D type of thing where you can kind of go like to the back of the stage and you can kind of move around and you can see shadows and silhouettes in the background and then come back out. And small things, Mario running too fast, he reaches back for the cat. Or when you turn into the elephant, you jump down a tunnel and he's kind of squeezed to fit in there. All of these small details, the new enemies, all of these things just make it just that much more fun and just kind of really branching out, taking it to the next level. I hope they still make the 3D games. Obviously, Super Mario Odyssey is like my favorite game of all time, but I also prefer these 2D side-scrolling platformer games because they're just classic. It's that classic feel. Platforming is still a thing, even though we got all these other different type of games available now. But platforming in general is a great game. And speaking of that, I know Black Ranger. I know you haven't picked up your copy yet, but based on the things that you've seen, what are your impressions after 3 days of Super Mario Brothers Wonder being released?
Honestly, looking at it, it looks dope. It definitely gives me like the old school vibes. Looking at it, like you said, the 2D platformer, I can get the hints and vibes of the original Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3 and looking at it, but you also get again the aspects of Odyssey when it comes to different things. As far as the cat, mainly really the cat, because it was a lot of cat play in Super Mario Odyssey, especially if you play with two players. But the game overall looks dope. It looks super fun, and I think that's what's missing with a lot of gaming now. I know you, like you said, this is your pick for Game of the Year already, and
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I always feel like it gets slighted or anything like that is because the game focuses on fun with a little bit of strategy rather than let me figure this out. How do I get through this quick? How do I kill this? Or, get through this, tough spot in the game. It's more so how much fun can we jam pack into this one cartridge for all the users? And like you said, with the multiplayer that's going to be happening and all that, it looks like a game where you could just sit down for hours and have fun. You're not going to be on there getting frustrated and upset and sweating. Some people have anxiety when it comes to certain games because of how much stress it puts on them. I mean, you can even go as far as sports games for those of us who are in the world of actually playing, Madden and 2K and all them things kind of competitively online with friends or
Right.
anything like that. A lot of people put a lot of time into those. Meanwhile, you got a
Yes.
lot of people who put in a lot of time to, all the other type games. I can't even think of the name of them, but even with Call of Duty, of course, a lot of people just put in a lot of time. Nobody plays the campaign mode outside of me. I play the campaign mode every time when
I
I
play.
get it sometimes.
Yeah. That kind of was my
But
thing with Call of
I
Duty.
just
Like, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
oh no, I was just saying, but it just Super Mario Brothers Wonder just looks like a game you just gonna pop in, and of course with it being on the Switch, you could just walk around and have a good time. You ain't got to worry about nothing. And you can just hand it over to anyone almost, and they have a good time with it
Yep.
too. That's the
Yeah.
most important aspect of a lot of games to me. Can when my daughter is of age to actually understand what's going on. Even now, she can look at it and probably just move around and be fine.
Yeah.
Any other game, I'm gonna be like, nah, I don't know if you could play that because it's got
Right.
explicit language and all that stuff and blood and gore. Nah, I can't do all that. But I
Yeah.
could hand her over Super Mario Wonder right now at 17 months, and I guarantee she'll sit there and laugh and joke and have a good time. So that
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
definitely think when I pick up my copy, it's gonna be a bundle of fun, as Mr.
Oh,
Potato Head would
absolutely.
say. No,
Yeah. I
Mr. Bucket.
definitely, I definitely agree with you. And I feel like that's kind of Nintendo's lane, man. They are all about family fun, clean cut entertainment, couch co-op. They're still in that bag, which I feel like a lot of gamers still enjoy. They won't go against the grain for whatever reason, man. But at the end of the day, that was just when you talk gaming, when you talk that golden era, depending on your age bracket, because some of the people that came before us, a little bit older, they had Atari and stuff like that, and that was still couch co-op. But for me, being born in '85, like those times, like N64, like I still talk about that with my friends. Like that was like the tippy top best time for gaming, man. Like there was just no feeling that will match N64 and them having four controller ports on the front of the console. And if you got three friends that got an N64, everybody's got a controller. Bring controllers over. We get down Diddy Kong Racing, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, uh, Pokemon Stadium. Jeez, all the wrestling games, man. I'm telling you, like that was just a time. It was really time of your life. GoldenEye. How the hell can I forget that? This it was really just the time of my life. Just having that and talking about school. Oh yeah, we're gonna as soon as we get out of school, we're gonna play that. Like Nintendo still is in that bag. Even when I first got the Switch, 1-2 Switch, it's still an amazing game. All those mini games, man, they are just loads of fun in the way that they utilize the Joy Cons and um, allow like certain feelings and stuff like that to bring that game to life. Like it's just brilliantly done. And of course, you might think like certain things are, you know, I guess the hardcore gamers would think like it's corny or whatever, but it's not. Those games are just fun, family fun oriented, and brings you back to like that essence of gaming, in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
with the couch co-op
And
and stuff.
you want to know as much as like you said with the hardcore gaming, those people that's oh that you know we all talk trash when it comes to Call of Duty. I don't care how bad you are, you're gonna talk trash and be like, I'm gonna get you online. Let's do this. With all those games, I still think the most played and most trash that was talked was people when it came to Wii Sports, bowling,
Yep,
tennis, whatever it was. People, oh, you got the Wii, you got enough you got enough controllers because we can load up the bowling. I can get you. I don't care how hardcore of a game you are. You still gonna be like, oh yeah, load up the Wii Sports. We can get it in on anything, tennis,
absolutely.
bowling, the 3-point contest and basketball, whatever you want. Let's do it. And it's like Nintendo stays right there. They knew what they were doing when they made that, and they hit the nail on the head. They knocked that out the park, and they continue to do that with their first party games. And like you said, Super Mario Brothers Wonder is going to be when I get it is going to be stupid. And I'm still not playing as Yoshi because ain't nobody hopping on my back.
I forgot all about that. That was funny. But yeah, and even with that, the multiplayer that's available on that, it's 1 to 4 players out the gate. And there's multiple characters that you can select from jump, obviously Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Toad, the different color Yoshis, you got Nabbit. All these are playable characters that you can go through and play with your friends couch co-op, and then you also can play online where you can meet people, even like the worlds when you select which stage you're going to participate in, you no longer have to go in a specific order. You kind of go where you want. It's kind of a little slightly open world. It's not like a big open world like Assassin's Creed. I know you're like, oh no, it's not. We ain't talking about that. But just the fact that you kind of go your own way with the game, and then you can see live people when you're online to see where they're at, and you guys can go through stages together, different challenges. Um, and it's just so far it's been a great experience. Obviously I'm biased, but whatever the case may be, nobody's not gonna sit up there and say like this game is trash. Like they are out of their minds. Like I feel like Nintendo's making a very big push going into that next generation of their console. So they kind of, to me, they kind of giving their best work. We got Princess Peach on the horizon. Next month we got Super Mario RPG that's coming out that's remastered, which I'm sure a bunch of people waiting on. That's probably gonna be day one for me. And like for the most part, Nintendo games are day one for me because they don't really go down in price. You might get $5-10 off. So at that point, it doesn't matter if you get it day one or you wait. Unlike some of the other games that are probably guaranteed to go on sale, Nintendo tends to hold their value right
Yeah.
where it's at. So that's exciting to know. But I feel like Nintendo is currently gonna make their best work towards the end of the life cycle of the Switch, heading into the next generation of console or whatever console they decide to do. I'm not sure what they'll do, but I feel like I know that they're aware of being close to taking the number one spot for most the most sold console, which is PS2. I know that they know they're on the horizon, and I feel like Nintendo's pushing it. I mean, it's just to me, it's not a big thing to push to the next console. I'm not like super pressed to get a new Nintendo console. So many people are just so focused on that 7 year thing and everybody else is doing. Nintendo never really marched to that beat. And I feel like the Switch is so successful that for what?
Yeah.
Which brings me to another point. Being at work, I was talking about this game on Friday at work, and I got some older employees that work for me that I supervise, and they're like, "I got to switch." Oh yeah, I got to switch too, and it's kind of like wow. But the simple fact of it being portable, which sold me out the gate, um, that's kind of like the big thing for people. Like it's being with it being portable, and a lot of times Nintendo games versus every other game, if you talk, I mean, they're casual, so of course they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, gaming, you got to cater to everybody. Can't just cater to the
Yeah.
hardcore gamers. You got to cater to the casual gamers. And 9 times out of 10, the casual gamers are going to be the ones that's kind of putting more and buying more. I feel like, especially like with the Wii, like he said, Wii Sports and stuff like that. Those party games, you just invite some friends over. I'm telling you, you can have a ball pretty much with any Nintendo console. I don't see any that wouldn't be fun in a party setting. So
Facts.
I feel like Nintendo's going to stay in that pocket as they should and just continue to pump out great content. But this is definitely, stellar. And we also I noticed some reports, got some UK reports, some early sales for the game, and Spider-Man topped them in the UK as far as sales is concerned. But normally 2D platformers as far as Mario, they're kind of slow rollers. So it's not something
Yeah.
that like sells out the gate. If it was a 3D game, I think it's like number 4. It's behind Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Odyssey. And I'm not sure what the other game was, but it still was, very, very good sales out the gate, especially releasing alongside of Spider-Man 2. That just goes to show that Mario's still king, regardless of what people say. Yeah, you want to experience the PS5 and Spider-Man. There's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that they're right there and it's an impressive release for them, which those games and those are the other games, the Pokemon games. Obviously, we all know
Mm.
how much of a fan base they have. But the fact that it definitely showed well, it speaks a lot about the effort that Nintendo put in. And I think they put in a lot of effort, and I think it's not gonna go without being recognized. Like this honestly is a fantastic game. I haven't finished it. A lot of reviews are out. I think the last time I checked for Metacritic, it was in the 90s, which is impressive for a 2D platform. You would probably expect that from like Super Mario Odyssey or one of the 3D games or something like that. But the fact that this game was like in the 90s on Metacritic, not a big deal for me. I don't go as far as that, but it still, says a lot about the game in general, which, brings joy to my heart that, it is being recognized. Got some people that's kind of, you know, trying to compare this game's better. What it's not really comparison. They're really honestly in two different bags. They're truly in
Yeah.
two different bags. They are not really something that should be compared. Spider-Man is a way different ball game when we talk about Super Mario Brothers Wonder. But we're gonna wrap up this episode. Black Ranger, let the folks out there know where they can find you, where they should follow you, all of your information, brother.
Yes, 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 everybody. Again, you can find me on all social media, most social media platforms, I should say. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat still, uh, at Black Ranger, BLAKRANGER. You can find me on Facebook, French Bryant, that's my name. I still had the Black Ranger photo up there. You can find me on YouTube. Hop on over to that channel as well.
Yes.
www.youtube.com/Black Ranger. Make sure you come enjoy the blurred life and hang with your favorite blurred in the world. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will link his channel in the description. I'm gonna try to grab all the social medias, put that in there, and make it simpler for y'all. And if y'all listening on your podcast platform, thank you for support. Make sure you hit the follow button on your favorite podcast platform. Come to the channel, hit subscribe. We got some exciting new content coming to the channel. It's your boy, the Video Game Voter. We logging off. Peace.